Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Diaries, episode 13. We're really getting into it. So, what I thought I would do today is actually share something a little bit different, something that I haven't shared before. And to be honest, is going to be a bit about the boring work, right? You can see obviously what I got on the screen right now is a nice little spreadsheet with lots of numbers. In terms of the business, it's been a good week. I feel like we're now back in full momentum, making sales. We're generating sales from the email list, generating sales from social media, which has been really good. We've stepped up our content game, a lot more call to actions. We're doing a bit more direct response social media content, driving people into the DMs, having conversations in the DMs, mostly with ManyChat, where I'm not necessarily going into those DMs, responding to those people because it's taking up a lot of time right now, but automating that, sending people valuable sales content, and then, converting them into customers. So I feel like we're back in good momentum. So what I wanted to show you was just some of the work that I'm doing behind the scenes. That is, the boring work. However, I believe it's this type of work that separates the winners from the losers. So you can see here, this is just like a tracking sheet that I have up for the company. Nothing obviously too sophisticated. You can see it's pretty simple. But this is just an example of like how I analyze the emails, or in this case, the welcome flows. So you can see this tab is the welcome emails. And this is basically the emails that people receive after they download some of our free piece of content, whether that be a lead magnet or a free training. Once they get delivered that content, they go into this like indoctrination sequence, I suppose you could call it. And the sequence is designed to obviously welcome them to our world, build a relationship, build rapport, and then on the last few emails specifically to sell the workshop that we have, which is the low ticket workshop. Right now it's about $47. Well, not about $47, it is $47. So these are the emails that I created, and this is like the numbers so far. So I'll just share them with you. You can see here that we've had the first email, 4,100 people have gone through it. Slightly less, obviously, as you go through the email sequence, because obviously people are currently going through this email sequence. And you can see email 6 in the sequence has 3,700 people go through it. So these are the results. We track obviously the open rates and then the click-through rates. So I think these numbers are pretty good. I mean, compare against industry average, they're good. These all have come from social media, no paid ads. So you would expect it to be slightly higher. But I think it's good. And basically what I do is go through and analyze each one depending on the volume. I used to do this for another company every couple of weeks. For this company right now, I'm doing it for about once a month. But again, if we ramp up the volume of people coming into that email sequence, then I will do it more frequently. And I basically every month or so just analyze the numbers and then just see which parts we can improve. So for example, the first open rate on the first email, it's got a 0% click-through rate because we don't sell in that email. We don't ask them to click anything. But 50%, I want this to be a bit higher. I mean, bearing in mind, when they download the free resource, they get delivered that free resource, and then the day after we send them another email making sure that they received it. So this is technically the third email in the sequence that they would receive after they've downloaded something. But I still want this to be higher than 50%. It's not horrendous. Most people will be pretty happy with this, but I want it to be higher. I believe it can get higher. So it's not drastically bad, but that's why it's in amber. Then this is pretty good. Considering this was 50%, for this to go to 48.4%, that's pretty good. And obviously the click-through rate is extremely high at 5%, so that's good. Again, to go from 48 to 46, I think that's pretty good. It's not too big of a drop-off, but this drop-off is pretty big, 5.6 to 3.6, so I'll put it in amber, although 3.6 is still pretty good. Then this drop-off, to go from 50 to 48 to 46 to then 42, this is a bit too much of a drop. So this is in amber, and then this click-through rate has gone a bit lower as well, so I've done 2.2 there. And the reason why this is red is because the next one in the email sequence is 3.7, and then the next one has 4.1. So there's clearly something off in this email, right? In terms of why people aren't clicking, because it's an outlier compared to the rest. And if the emails further on in the sequence are getting a higher click-through rate, then, I feel like something's wrong in this email. And then you can see this last email, email 6 here, we're all about 48, 46, 42, 45, right? So again, this is a really good email. This one, not so much. But then to go from 45 to 35, for me, that's too big of a drop off. So I want to improve that. So this is it. This is the boring stuff. It's literally tracking open rates, click-through rates, and then just analyzing each email individually and then deciding what can we actually do to improve it. So you can see here the actions, right? So this is just super simple, but for me, so I can go in next time and I can understand what changes I made. Well, obviously with this one, I split test the subject line, right? Because I need to improve the open rate. You can see here, I spaced out the copy into like shorter lines. So I looked at this email and I was like, well, maybe one of the reasons why people aren't clicking as high as they should is because the copy's too bunched together. Maybe it doesn't read as well. So I didn't necessarily change the messaging or the actual copy, but I just made it more readable to see if that could improve the click-through rate. Here, you can see here, so I improved, obviously changed, split tested the subject line. And then here as well, I basically tested adding like extra CTAs in the PS at the bottom. So maybe people are scanning through the email, they get to the bottom and there was no clear call to action. There's obviously going to be some people that just scroll and want to click, right? And they don't want to read the whole thing to understand where to click. So a lot of people scroll down to the bottom. So I included that in the PS to see if that could improve open rates. This email was pretty good, so I decided not to do anything on that. And then here, what I've done actually is move this email up because the sequence was a bit off and I felt like the sequence would be better. So I moved this one to email 4. So that means these two have moved back, and then I added in an extra email 7. So basically what I'm going to do, just to give you, I mean, this could be really boring. I don't know if anyone is interested in this. Whew, this is the YouTube content you came to see, surely. So yeah, in a few weeks' time, I'm going to go through, I'm going to look at the numbers, I'm going to analyze the changes that I made. Did they improve? Did they not? And then based on that, I will do the exact same thing again. And that's the plan. Every single month, I'm going to do the exact same thing over and over again. And again, right now we're getting about 40 to 50 people join the email list every single day. So we're getting about 350 new people a week. So if that volume increases to like 1,000 a week, then I'll probably do this every 2 weeks instead of every month. It just depends on the volume. But this is kind of the boring shit that makes you money, you know? And I actually don't mind it. It is a bit boring, but I actually kind of get a little bit of a kick out of it. Like I like having everything set up and then like running through the numbers and trying to optimize. And it's obviously good to see that next time, hopefully if this increases, then, you know, we're making progress in the right direction. Because at the end of the day, like I'm not going to be able to improve this open rate from like 50 to like 100%, right? That's obviously unrealistic. But if I can get it to 60%, then I've got, in this example, what's that? That's 20% more people opening my emails. If it goes from 50% to 60% open rate, that's 20%, I think that's right, 20% more people opening my emails. If I can get 20% more people opening my emails, 20% more people seeing our offers, 20% more people being exposed to our brand, 20% people more likely to buy. So it's kind of like marginal gains. I think that this is a pretty good numbers wise. This is a pretty good base for us to start on, considering this was just the first set of emails that I created. But again, it's just marginal gains. Can we get this? Instead of 2% of people clicking, can we get it to 4% of people clicking? That means double the amount of people are going to our sales page from this email. And, you know, we're not talking like a couple of hundred people here. This is literally like 3,000, 4,000. Hopefully soon in the next few months, it's going to be like 5,000, 10,000 people. So if you can get out of like 10,000 people, if you can get, you know, from 2% of people clicking to 4% of people clicking, that's a lot of people. And if they're going to sales pages that we've written for them, you know, it can make us a ton more money. So I'm being realistic with this. I'm not, you know, you're not looking to go from like 50 to 80%, but if I can, in my subject line test, if I can take it to 52, that's great. And then I'll do another one, try and get it to 54, and another one to 56, and another one to 60, right? It's just that marginal gains process. So I just wanted to show you that. I don't know if this is interesting. Maybe this was possibly the most boring Diaries episode that I've ever made, but let me know what type of content. I thought it'd be better than just me just kind of giving you a quick overview of what I've been working on. Because again, sometimes I'm literally doing this. This is boring work, but it's going to make the company money. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next one.